Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
I'm Scotty V. It's good to see you. I was recently an actor who appeared in a play called Visions of Johanna. As an actor, I do many plays whenever I get the opportunity. And of course, it's not particularly high-paying work unless you're a Tom Cruise or a Brandon Routh on a much more limited scale. But I enjoy doing it, and I am trying to expand my career and to open up new opportunities. I do these webcasts because I am passionate about Superman, and I usually have something to say on the subject. Why I bring up the play I was most recently in is that I played a reporter who had recently lost his job because the paper closed. The reason the paper closed was because, of course, the economy has been very bad as of late, and also because of the internet, because the idea that newspapers aren't really great at handling the internet, and for the most part you can get newspapers free or for very, very cheap on your iPhone or iPad or computer device, makes it very difficult to run an ink and paper type of outfit. Magazines are going out of business, newspapers are going out of business constantly. So where does that leave someone like Clark Kent? We see in the new 52 that Clark is still working for the paper, but that it has a very heavy online presence, and that Lois is in charge of the multimedia portion of the paper, with Perry still in the ink and paper business. But the reason that I bring this up is because this poster that you see next to and behind me was actually purchased for the production. I was not aware that it was being done. Being a fan of Superman, many of my shirts have Superman symbols or pictures of Superman or the word Superman on them. So when the poster arrived a day after we opened the play, and she, the director, said, "Your poster's here," I was surprised and didn't know what she was talking about. And she opens it up, and it ends up being this. Turns out that it wasn't really my poster, but that I actually happen to have this very poster at my house anyway, and if she would have told me about it in the first place, I'm sure we could have just used mine and not had to have spent the money, nonetheless. When we closed down, one of the other actors in the play, who was apparently more astute than the director, said, "So is Scotty going to get to keep this?" Because she knows that I'm a fan and nobody else at the theater is ever going to use it. And the director said, "No, the theater money bought this. It's going to stay here at the theater, just like it would if you bought any other prop. But I really don't think the poster's ever going to get used." However, I digress. The reason I brought it up and the reason I'm talking about this poster is that Stewart was supposed to be a man of 28. He had just moved back in with his parents, and he had a poster of Superman up on his wall. When she brought it up and she hung it, I started to feel weird that it would look bad that a professional, man who worked at a paper, would have a picture of Superman hanging in his room and that he would be living with his parents. Turns out that he only moved back in for a month, and the idea was that the poster had been there from when he was a child, not that he put it up recently or that he was living there as an adult 28-year-old male with pictures of Superman. However, this got me thinking, why, as a big fan of Superman, as a man, for those of you who have watched for the last year, that has many, many different collections, many statues, many posters, many pictures, many toys that all have something to do with Superman, would I feel odd about playing a character in a play that had a poster of Superman in his room? And the reason I bring it up to all of you is, what is the age? Is there a time when you should mature and no longer like Superman, no longer like Batman, Spider-Man, superheroes in general? Is there a time when too many superhero movies at the box office is something that adults should be worried about, that this country is going in a certain direction, and that adolescent boys seem to be the only avenue for movies to go down anymore? I disagree with that sentiment because I love superhero movies, but is there really a time? Is there a time, when you're a father of two, maybe, when you're married for 10 years, when you're, all of these things describe me, that's why I ask. When you're a professional newspaper reporter who loses his job because of the economy and now you're searching for another job, should you still idolize comic book characters, or is the world just too serious for that? Let me know your thoughts. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. For me, I still like this thing. And I like all my posters surrounding me and my statues. It makes me feel comfortable at home. It's the things I like. But is it too immature? I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about some of your thoughts on an upcoming Great Scott. But thanks for watching for now. And remember, you're too old to look up in the sky.